Hi, I'm Garry Kasparov, and I'm here to answer your chess-related questions from Twitter. Why do all, chess players point at pieces, squares with middle finger? Do we? I'm not sure. I never paid attention to that fact. Maybe we have to ask a psychologist to see enough samples for us to come up with such a definite conclusion. Bishop or knight? Depends if you're religious or not. The general assumption is that both slide pieces are of equal price in pawns. I think Bobby Fischer was the first one who indicated that bishop should be valued higher, 3.25 versus 3 pawns for knight. I was more reserved. Actually, I put 3.15 for a bishop. But now, looking at some of the computer games, I would say that maybe Fischer's evaluation was correct. After machines played millions of games, we just learned that bishop's value is simply higher, since in many more cases it was more useful piece. Do I have to develop all of my minor pieces before activating my queen? The answer is yes. Queen is the strongest piece, but you can argue it's the weakest one, because if it's attacked, it has to move away, because it's its most valuable piece. I can come up with many opening positions where activating the queen is very natural. So there are many openings where your queen is being developed at as early as move 4 or 5. I would recommend for weak players to follow the rule and not to bring your queen into the battle too early. But for those who are making progress in the game of chess by studying openings professionally, you have to be cautious all the time, trying to apply general rules universally all the time. Why do chess players tend to castle even if it severely restricts the king's movement? King safety is a #1 priority. And obviously, after castle, you remove king from the vulnerable position in the center. So restricting the king's movement is not as dangerous as leaving your king in the open. You are in doubt and you want to castle, but short or long, in 1 or 2. It depends on your mood. I would say if you castle short, it's a roughly even game, but you cannot expect to gain an advantage. So castling long is more aggressive, more ambitious, but it's riskier. Now with the second one, Black has a very comfortable game. They can simply castle short and they have excellent position. I would probably go short castle, but maybe it's my age talking. What is your favorite gambit opening in chess with A, white, B, black? I don't think gambits are just offering you an advantage against a well-prepared opponent. I loved Evans' gambit. I played quite a few games, and some of them were destructive wins. Now with black, I played a couple of times Volga gambit, Benko gambit, as is known in the free world. I can hardly think of any real gambits with black except the Benko gambit, where you can that you can employ at the professional level. Mr. Kasparov, in your expert opinion, why doesn't Anand or Carlsen, for that matter, ever use something wild like King's Gambit? Because it's wild. Players at that level, they don't play wild openings in serious games. I can tell you spend a lot of time analyzing it, and it always ends up with negative results. So that's why, if you are a big fan of the King's Gambit, I wouldn't recommend you holding your breath expecting Carlsen or other top players employing it in the top tournaments. On another note, do you advocate Evans' Gambit versus a stronger player, or will it be crushed these days? It's hard to say no for Evans' Gambit, because I won quite a few games. Very memorable one against Vishy Anand in 1995, the first time I used Evans' Gambit. So for strong player, someone who is known for his or her preparation, I think you have to be very cautious by making such a choice. It depends very much on what you mean saying strong player. So, because we can disagree on the definition. Though I think that if you want to play such a sharp opening as Evans' Gambit, sacrificing a pawn at move 4, you are not thinking of equalizing. You're thinking about taking initiative and crushing your opponents. So again, it's up to you, but just bear in mind, that Evans Gambit has disappeared completely from the games of the top players. Can anyone recommend a good book on chess Endgame? Mark Dvoretsky's book, Endgame. It helps strong players to become stronger. So I enjoyed reading the book, and you can always learn something from there, even if you are weak, relatively weak player, or a very strong one. Is control of the center one of the most important things you must do in order to win the game of chess? Yeah, it is very, very important, but I can give you many examples where you control the center, but your king is being mated. I would strongly recommend that you put king safety as a #1 priority. Tech AI types as a genuine question. How much should we read into the ability of a computer to quickly get really good at chess or Go? It's impressive, but it's also about logic and involves very constrained and ultimately limited choices. I think you answered the question. It's about the logic, but it's a closed system because we establish the rules. We should recognize that the moment the open-ended system has been limited to a closed framework, machines will do a better job by simply just going around this and establishing their own set of priorities. Chess and other games, like Go, they're offering an excellent opportunity to study the ability of machines for us to look into much bigger problems of the universe and nature. Learning chess. Why does the horsey one move so crazy? Why not straight lines like castle head? I can tell you that in any version of chess, there are different rules and different patterns. For instance, the Japanese game called shogi, has many different rules that are very unusual for our eyes because we train just to look at our version of chess. I think it's a combination of the different abilities of the pieces, and I can tell you that our forebears did a great job by actually coming up with such a balanced game. Thank you very much for asking all these questions. They were very different. Some of them are too professional to my taste. Some of them are very primitive, again, to my taste. But that's the beauty of the game of chess. You can enjoy the game, you can ask questions, even if you are a very weak player, or if you are an experienced club player, or even a very, very strong player. And that creates this global chess family. And I'm always happy to address any concern that comes from every layer of chess knowledge in the world.